Hey, what's going on, internet? Josh Noel from SonduckFilm. It's your favorite Call of Duty player. Just kidding. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create beautiful natural light scenes without using any set lights or any lighting modifiers. So in this first series of clips, we'll see how I position my talent in front of the camera to utilize the sun. So here's a typical beautiful golden hour scene, and our main focus is on Brittany over here. And as you can see, we have the sun peeking out in the corner over here to the right side of the frame. And what I want to focus on is the golden rim, the backlight that we're getting on our talent's hair right here, which is really giving that golden feel. And you can see we have our face here, which is completely diffused, and we're not getting any harsh lighting on that just because her face is away from the sun, and we're able to see that it's beautifully golden hour, and we're getting that nice rim in the backlight there. So that's one way we can use this to kind of keep our talent away from the sun, so we're not getting any unnecessary contrast. So we'll see this in the next clip. So here's another example of positioning our actress away from the sun. And when you're shooting outside with no diffusion, you do want to keep your actress's face away from the sun if you can, because we're gonna get this very even, light across the face. There's not gonna be any harsh shadows, and the light is gonna look beautiful on skin. And the sun's all the way back here in this corner, and it's gonna be shining this way. So we have the sun shooting on some backlight on our on Julia's hair right here, and it looks great. And this is about like maybe 30 minutes before the golden hour, and then you see we have no contrast in the face here. It's all flat and diffused, and it's looking really nice. And in our next clip, and here's an example of kind of a beautifully diffused light. So the sun went behind the cloud, and we're able to get this very nice soft sort of light on our actor's face for our key right here. And we have this nice little gradient shadow. And what's looking nice about this is that it's not a harsh light, and it's not making anything not beautiful. So you can use the sun when it's behind a cloud or diffused if you don't have any diffusion gear to make your actress's face look beautiful. So just keep that in mind when you're shooting video. So when you have no lighting modifiers, keep your actress's face away from the sun unless it's behind the clouds. Then you're gonna have a very beautiful diffused light source. So in the next series of clips, we're going to talk about shooting at twilight. And twilight is when the sun is below the horizon, and you have this nice blue sky, and it's not completely dark out yet. There's still a little bit of light coming in from the horizon over there, but the sun's still not visible. And twilight can look really beautiful, but what's going to happen is that you're going to be losing light extremely fast, and it's going to be harder to keep proper exposure for whatever you're trying to shoot. So what I like to do, I like to use twilight as kind of more of a cinematic, scenery, landscape shots like this. So I don't worry about kind of exposing for our talent. So I can see Julia is completely a kind of silhouette here, but I'm exposing for the sky, and I'm able to keep all this beautiful detail in the shot here. And you can see we even have silhouette people on the beach down here. And I'm just exposing for this, which is going to make this a much nicer shot than rather than exposing for Julia, which she would probably be underexposed, very grainy, and the sky would be sort of blown out a little bit. So this way, just exposing for the environment here, it's going to look really nice. And here's another example of me trying to meet this in the middle. As you see, she's not exactly a silhouette, but I kept some detail. And what I'm starting to see a little bit more recently, like a lot of cinematographers are doing this, they'd rather expose for the sky, make sure it's not blown out, and just lose detail in their talent, kind of keep them underexposed, because typically that looks like a much nicer shot because there's still going to be a lot more detail in the sky, and you're going to be able to keep that. And that's just something to think about. So in these next couple of shots, I want to talk about shooting in the shade. And when you shoot in the shade, you're going to get some very nice diffused light, and basically the sun is on the other side of this building right now, so that's why everything in here is in the shade. There's no sunlight, and everything's kind of on the same playing field here, same levels. So nothing's gonna be blown out, and nothing's really gonna be underexposed. Maybe in this details of the bushes here, but that's supposed to happen like that. And basically we're gonna get this very nice even image here. You can see Brittany's face is completely level all the way across, so it looks very natural. It looks great. Don't have to worry about anything, no lighting modifiers. The background's properly exposed, and this is a very easy image to color correct, because we don't have to worry about shooting for the sun, which would create some very harsh contrast, because this was at 4 o'clock, and we're still probably, I think, 2 hours away from golden hour at this point. And obviously we want to have some very harsh shadows, so shooting in the shade is going to give you a lot more flexibility as far as the contrast goes. So here's another example of shooting in the shade without any lighting modifiers. So we are getting this contrast on our talent's face here. So the right side is a little bit darker, the left side is a little bit brighter, and basically it's because the roof is very slim, and basically a foot or two to the left is direct sunlight, and basically the light that's bouncing up from the parking lot and the other objects around here are shooting into our talent's face here on the left side, and we have really no light coming in from the right side, so we're able to get this nice contrast. And the thing is I want to take a look at here is the position of the camera. So if we would have positioned the camera a little bit more, facing towards the left, you would have seen completely blown out background here. But by positioning our camera to only cover the wall, we're able to keep all the levels exactly the same and have a very low contrast scene. So in post, we can do whatever we really want and turn it into a little bit of a higher contrast scene without having to worry about any blown out details. And we're able to have a lot of control over the scene. So choosing your angles and working with what little bit of shade that you have can go a long way to producing a very beautiful image. So before we wrap up this video, I want to take a look at shooting silhouette. So this is definitely more of an artistic sort of thing to shoot, but shooting silhouettes is something I love doing. So in order to shoot a nice silhouette, you need to have a bright source of light behind your subject. So in this case, we have the sun right behind our subject, and you see that we have the sun behind our subject Julia, because we see the sun rays on the ocean here. So I centered her right in front of the sun, and I made her silhouette so we have detail in the sky. And typically you wouldn't have this detail at all around the sun, but being able to expose for a darker image, for your foreground is going to be able to bring that detail in there. So this may be a reason why you would like to have a silhouette. It's just very artistic, just something to think about, but you need to have a bright source of light behind your subject or whatever you're shooting to have a silhouette. So I want to talk about shooting more of a controlled silhouette. So we still have some detail in the buildings and the trees back over here. You can still see some, color detail. The beach is not completely black, and we still have that detail here. Our talent over here is very underexposed and almost black, but what's happening, since they're right in front of the sun and we didn't do that exact exposure, is that the sun's really washing out the image here. This is there's no detail in the sky as far as over here goes, and that's not exactly amazing. I mean, it's really cool, I do like the shot, but let's say we want to have a little bit more control over this image and be able to see the sky. What I would do is not position your talent in front of the sun. So I would position them, away from the sun, kind of where the sun's more in the corner of the frame. And this way you can expose for the sky, still have all that detail, and still have them, be a nice silhouette. We have this very nice, backlight. That was a big arrow, but we still have this nice backlight from the sun, and we still have detail in the sand over here. And we still have all that level of control, and our sky is not blown out. So it's just, I think it's more of a personal choice, but by moving your talent away from the sun, you can still get a beautiful silhouette and have a lot more control over what you're shooting. So I really do enjoy doing these videos, so I hope you guys really enjoyed the video and you found some helpful tips out of this. So as we move forward here, I'm going to continue to do these type of videos. So in the meantime, please let me know in the comments down below what type of videos you guys shoot, and if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more filmmaking videos just like this, and please be sure to hit me up on my social media networks. Those links are in the description of the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day.